Hello, this is Emily Davis, and I'm doing a presentation on the plugin called iCheck.js. Uh, it's great for uses for forms and checklists. Here's my presentation. Some of the plugin features are identical inputs across different browsers and devices, touch devices and support, keyboard accessible inputs, screen reader accessible inputs, customization freedom, jQuery and Zepto, and it's a lightweight size. Also, there are 32 different options to customize checkboxes and radio buttons, 11 different callbacks to handle changes, 9 methods to make changes programmatically, and saves to the original input and works carefully with any selectors. Here are some of the basic skins that I did up, and here's my example of all of them, just to kind of see them all very quickly. The first one is a minimal skin, just very simple. You can change the colors if you want to by downloading different CSS plugins. Here's for the checkboxes, radio buttons, the checkboxes you give it different classes and IDs, and you tell it, checked, unchecked, leave it alone if you don't want it to do anything, for each of these. Same with the radio buttons. And the other states that you can see right here are for hover and everything else. There's also a focus. And here's the script. This helps to call in the function and as well as change the color if you want to. The same goes for square skin. It's just a different look. Same setup for the code. Same with the script. Here we have a flat skin. This one, it looks like everything's a little more rounded. Looks a little more fun to me, actually. Same thing for the code. Line skin, I like this one because it actually gives more color to the page. Here's the code. Polaris skin. I like this one too because it gives it a more dark, obviously, dark look to the page. But you don't have to do the whole page. You can just do different sections, of course. The only thing I didn't like about this one is I couldn't figure out how to get the colors of these to change. It kept giving me issues. The code was a little bit different for this one. I wasn't able to put the color in here for the classes, and the script was a little more simple. Futurico skin. This one is cool. It reminds me of, Droid or, something alien. Maybe it's just the green and the black, but that's how I see it. Here's the code for that one. This one functions about the same way as the Polaris skin as well. I wasn't able to get the colors to change. Here's some of the CSS and JavaScript links I used. I had to pull in my own CSS. I normalized it with this one here and used the custom from the demo, as well as the Polaris and the all CSS, and then these down here are to change the colors of the different skins. Here's some of the scripts. I have to pull in jQuery and then iCheck, and then a custom to get it to play with everything properly that I grabbed from the demo as well as my own. here is the original. Here's the page to download iCheck. Here's some of the callbacks. You can see how these change over here. You can, it tells you what it's doing. And just some basic code to explain a little more what's going on. Each skin, each of these white skins, you can actually change the different colors. I didn't incorporate this into my example, and here it tells you how to use it, which was very helpful for me. You can actually combine these two different scripts by just tacking on the color, to the different classes here, and it saves you a lot of time. Here's some of the live skin colors. You can only do the colors that CSS sheets are provided to you from this site. You can't do just any color, unfortunately. This one, as you can see, you can't change colors. Here's an example on how to get it to behave, of course, and the Futurico one. This down here just gives you just a basic, how to make your own kind of thing, and all the different options. With radio buttons and checkboxes, you can enable them and indeterminate them. Focus, hover, label, hover, increase the area here. This here was really helpful. Less typing to do. You don't have to copy and paste everything. You can just mention the ones you need. You can initialize it with the input, block input, test input, vote, input sum. All sorts of. You can throw in some booleans here to indeterminate them. And then here are the callbacks for, if clicked, if changed, if checked, if unchecked, if toggled, if disabled, if enabled, if determinate, if created, if destroyed. So many different uses. There was no way to, simplify everything to be able to use everything on here. Then these are, how to use those callbacks. And then the comparison, essentially, iCheck was created to avoid the routine of reinventing the wheel, which a lot of plugins seem to do, by the way. With checkboxes and radio buttons only, unfortunately, it doesn't work for the rest of the form functions. It works on so many different browsers and devices. Inputs are keyboard accessible. Poor browser support are some of the disadvantages, and there's still multiple bugs on mobile devices, and it's a little more tricky to maintain with the CSS code, and JavaScript is still needed to fix specific issues, unfortunately. It's, the browsers that support it are, Internet Explorer 6 and up, Firefox 2 and up, Opera 9 and up, Chrome and Safari, as well as, their mobile counterparts. So overall, I definitely think I will be using this in the future for future projects. If you have any questions, just ask.